So under evolution of management, this is where it came from, this topic number 2 in the syllabus, evolution of management. Management thoughts. Evolution of management thoughts. Now this topic, number 2, has got 3 main scholars. We call them scholars, or they are the people who came up with the theory of management. We call them thoughts or theory of management. So these scholars, they are categorized into 3 main categories. The first category, we call them classical school of thoughts, or we can call it classical theories. Under this one, we have 3 people. The first person is called Friedrich Taylor. Friedrich Taylor was a German engineer. He came up with what is called scientific theory, and is also called the father of scientific theory of management. Now, the second person is called Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol also came up with what is called administrative theory. So, Friedrich Taylor, in his theory, a school of thought or theory, scientific theory, he believed that human beings should be able to work like a machine. He was basically trying to treat human being as a machine, right? And that's why it's called science. You remember in high school, we used to have papers called humanities and sciences. So with him, from his school of thought, he didn't think that human beings should be treated in a human way. He treated human being like a machine. And that is why we call it theory, scientific theory. Then administrative theory, we focused on the top managers. Administrators are people at the top level of management. They focus on the best way of seeing things run. He was not actually looking at the work on the bottom, on the ground. So the difference between the two is that this one was looking at how things should be done on the ground, job allocations, visualization, training, development, such kind of things, and also ensuring that there is maximum production. That is scientific. So when you look at the theory, principles of those theories or the features, they have nothing to do with the benefit of the worker, the human being, nothing. Kazi yake ni kuhakikisha kuna production na machine, kazi inaendelea vizuri. He doesn't care about the welfare of the workers. And so they are under the classical theory of thought. Those are the traditional theorists, Then the last one here, but this one is not on the ground. Is looking at the rules and policies. He came up with the 14 principles of management, if you can remember them. Principles of management, where he's now looking at management from the top level. You know, we normally have 3 levels of management. There is top, middle, and lower. So this guy focused on the top level, where unakaa kama director ama CEO, kazi yako ni kupeana instructions and rules and things that are being done. But scientific was looking at management on the lower level, where you look at people, how people work, right? The machines they're using. You're looking at whether they're trained or not. You're looking at whether production is increased or not. So this one is looking at management on the floor. Hapo mahali kuna kazi, right? Sio kwa ofisi huko juu. So that is the difference. 14 principles of management, if you can remember them, we normally call them like this. You can cram it like this, that UC, USSR, OIC, right? There should be 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now, this is how you can be able to cram the 14 principles of management. And you can be able to now give the meaning, like division of labor. You can be able to give that, right? Until you reach the last one, which is now esprit de corps, right? And I'll share with you some notes on this on WhatsApp. Now, when you look at the features of this, even with the 14 principles of management, they have nothing to do with the human worker, individual person in mind. Now, the last person who came up with the theory under this group is called Max Weber. Max Weber came up with what is called bureaucratic. Is it how do you write bureaucratic management or theory of management? Bureaucratic theory of management. So Max Weber thought that things should be done in some organized way. You know, when we talk about bureaucracy, for example, Kanisa ya Catholic, these people have to do certain things in order. For example, you can never just become a bishop or a padre. There must be procedures, right? And even when you are Archbishop in Kenya, you must be appointed by bishop or pope from somewhere, right? From from Rome, right? So what we are saying, they have some order. The same way, these people still believe that in organizations there should be some order. In government institution, you might not get something before it is authorized by the right person. Hata kama ako nyumbani, hata kama ako US, utamgoja, right? The same thing happens with some organizations like parastatals are going to KRA, where you can be requesting for a right or for something like a TCC, that is tax compliance certificate. But you cannot be given because another person has that role. He has to give you. So bureaucratic has got a clear and well-defined procedures and policies to be followed. And the roles are very well defined. You can't cross into somebody's role. So that is what he was trying to propose, that an organization should be in such a way that everybody knows his main role. Everybody knows his role, his main role. Now, after that bureaucratic management, you can check that. I'm not very sure about the spelling, but you can check for me. Number two, we now have other theories in this category. This is now called human relation approach, or we call them behavioral approach. Or theories of management. Now, these people thought that, why are we dealing with people like human beings, like machines? Can't we understand the behavior of somebody so that we know how to deal with this person? I'm sure even you, if you're a gentleman, you need to know when you need to approach a lady. You can't just approach a lady anyhow, right? And even when you are looking for something from your dad, obviously, you must wait for the time when it's now cool, when it's settled, then you now propose what you want to propose. So that means that you need to know, at what point can I do this? What if I say this? How will he react? So that's a practical way. So he was saying, the theorists are trying to believe that the best way to manage somebody is, number one, to understand him, understand what he wants, and how he's going to react, to be able to predict. Now, if you know the desire of this person, you know the characteristics of this person, then it's easier for you to manage this person than dealing with people like machine, because this one will make most people go on strike. But if you understand my need, I'll be able to, you know how to approach me, you know how to talk to me, I'll be able to listen to you, and we can be able to work in harmony. Now, in this particular one, we have number one, Elton Mayo. So this is where the examiner was coming from. So Elton Mayo came up with what is called human relation theory. Right? Then we have the next person, is called McGregor. McGregor came up with theory X and Y. Then we have the last person called Abraham Maslow. Abraham Maslow. So we call it Maslow's theory of need. So we have Abraham Maslow. Now, when you look at these three people, they are so much concerned with the behavior of somebody. You need to understand the person you're dealing with. Elton Mayo did an experiment which is called Hawthorne experiment. In this particular experiment, he tried to put some workers in an environment which is not very spread friendly. Take, for example, those who are doing kazi ya tailoring. Unaweka kwa nyumba, alafu unaweka light on usiku. Sasa, wakianza kufanya kazi kidogo kidogo, unarudisha light. That is called illumination test. Unarudisha light until it becomes dim. But at that time, you are very close to the workers. You make story with them, you help them, kama anataka kitu namletea. So he realized that when the light was dim, people were even working better They're even doing better than when there was full light. Why? Because the manager was with them, making stories, helping them, participating, and even becoming more friendly, understanding their problems. So that, therefore, he concluded that in this human relation, he was looking at the relationship between the workers and the manager, and he concluded that when we have a good, positive working environment, then production is better. So this reminds me of something that people normally say, that employees don't run away from job, they run away from bad employers. So it is you that somebody can run away from. Si ati kazi ni mbaya, ni wewe ndio mbaya, right? So that means that if you are good, then employees can stick with you even if you don't have money. Even if the working condition is not favorable, you'll always be there. Now, if you have that knowledge with you already, the way now I've actually impacted it on you, then you can approach that question with confidence because you know how to look for any feature, any symbol or characteristics that indicates that we have some sense of human relation approach in that particular case study. Thank you so much. Let's now look at what the question wants or examine. And so that is why I was telling you guys that it's important you attend class. As much as you want revision, you might not have actually grasped everything. But if you do, then it's fine. We'll assume that you will not just float. So let's look at what the question is saying. Now, he's saying that Fatuma Apio believed in and implemented Elton Mayo's human relation movement approach or theory at BAM. He implemented a situation or a theory that believes that people should be very close, should work as a group, that managers and workers should be very friendly and working in harmony, where you listen to somebody's problem and sort it. That is what he believes in, right? So if he believes in this, how did Elton Mayo's theory or principles be implemented? How are they implemented in this particular scenario? That is what we want to check. So they are saying that with reference to the above statement, describe 5 actions that Fatuma may have taken to implement this theory of human relation approach. Very nice. 10 marks. Fine. We shall look at that. So when you read the story, when you read the case study, sorry, when you read the case study, you listen carefully between the lines and try to look for how this theory has been applied. So let's look at number 2. Bernard M. Bass developed the transformational leadership theory in 1985 as a way to describe the psychological mechanisms that are used by leaders. And as underline the word transformational leadership. Ukiona tu hii, that means that there are some sense of leadership style in this case. So what should come to your mind? What are the characteristics of transformational leadership? And which styles of leadership do you have? Which styles of leadership do you have? That's very important. So can somebody tell me a few? I'm assuming that you guys can do revision because you've read Mesoma, able to pair to a few characteristics or features of transformational leadership style. Just drop there. I want to see a few of them on the chat. Give me a few. Give me a few. Sarah, tell me what are the characteristics of a transformational leader? Tuanzia hapo, because that is what the examiner is trying to ask you. Anataka vile ameleta hii question, anataka you think about, you bring your mind to what a transformational leader is. We have different types. We have one that is called transactional, we have transformational, we have democratic, we have authoritative, we have pacesetters. Those are different types of leadership that we find in our syllabus, topic number 3 and topic number 6 of the syllabus. So what are the characteristics of this kind of leadership styles?
We have the ability to inspire participation of workers.
Thank you.
There's the ability to build trust among the team members.
Mm-hmm.
They have the room for the employees to have an openness in bringing in new ideas.
Good. Thank you. So you are on the right direction. And I know after this you're going to check. That one I'm very sure. Ile imekusumbua kidogo unaenda kuangalia neno alikuwa anauliza hii. Najua sasa ukisoma enda usome zingine pia. So one of the characteristics of transformational leaders, number one, they inspire people. They are people who want to achieve, they want to drive you or they move you from your comfort zone to achieve your personal goals. That is a transformational leader. Number two, there are people who listen to you. They come down on the ground and find you, where are you? Umekwama wapi? Then you come up with them, right? These people will always come to the ground. For example, look at the kind of leadership of Professor Magoha. Magoha was a transformational leader. Number one, he was very effective. He delivers. That is number one. Number two, he's somebody who will go to the ground, kwa kijiji pale, kwa slums, anatafuta watu. Shida iko wapi? Mbona mtoto hajaenda shule? You know, they are the people that when things comes, challenges come, they tell you, no, we have to achieve this. You know, there is always hope. Anakuambia kuna uwezekano. At least give up. That is a transformational leadership. Number two, they always stimulate your intellectual capacity. Remember the way Magoha used to challenge people. Anawaambia, if you want to advise our president, then don't do research with what you know. Go into the unknown world and get the solution. So he's trying to stimulate and challenge your intellectual capacity. That was a transformational leader. Number the next one, he had what is called individual concern. They have individual concern. These are people who listen to you. Akikuja anasikiza shida iko wapi exactly, so that they can be able to. They also have what is called idealistic influence. These are people who come up with new ideas and they want to make you understand it and even buy that particular idea. Now, if you are able to understand that these are people who support others, they want to raise you, they give you challenging job, they push you to the line so that you can achieve your own individual targets, they stimulate you and challenge you in terms of intellectual capacity, then that is what is called transformational leaders. Very few in Kenya are actually having this kind of leadership style. You know, most of the ones that we have are always autocratic. Unasema kama hujafanya vile anataka utaona, si ndio? That is autocratic. Mtu anakulazimisha. You have to do this. They use authority. Now you need to be able to understand this. And I can tell you that a question in exam will always come from topic number one, question number one, case study will always come from leadership style and management theories. Why? In Kenya today, we have challenges in the leadership. And in the world as a whole, people are having challenges in leadership. Good managers are good leaders. And so even organizations are failing because we don't have good managers. And that is why the title of the unit is leadership and management. So that means that in a case study, they have to bring some sense of leadership style and ask you whether you really understand the kind of leadership style that after graduating from here, you need to go and promote outside there in the corporate world. That is what the examiner is trying to impact on you. So you need to understand the leadership styles and the management style or theories of management. Now that we understand what transformational leaders are, together with what you've given me, those are good points. Look at the question now. Explain 6 personal traits that Fatuma possesses that enable her to be regarded as a successful transformational leader. So unaangalia zile vitu amefanya that shows that this one is a transformational leader. The next one, examine 4 elements that make up a transformational leaders. Do you know these 4 eyes elements? I remember the last class I revised with them that just before exams, I gave them the 4 eyes in the notes, and immediately they arrived. The first student who called me told me that Malimu, I did exam within 1 hour, and the 4 eyes came. And actually, she passed the paper. I was so happy. I told her, if you get the 4 eyes, then you are done, because that is 8 marks. That is 8 marks. And let me tell you, examiners are not looking for a lot of things. Once you have identified the point, even if you don't explain, the examiner is very happy with you. Like now, 4 eyes, you just identify. If you can know them, you are getting your 8 marks without even explanation. Because most people are failing, and we just want a few who can pass. So can you tell me the 4 eyes of transformational leaders? leadership side. Therefore, for I's, they start with I, all of them, the four of them.
Inspirational motivation.
Remember what we just given you as the characteristics. Those are the ones. Inspiration, yes.
The intellectual stimulation.
Exactly. That is what I mentioned as the characteristics. Another one.
Individualized consideration.
That means that they need to understand and consider your individual problem, individual matters. That is what is called individualized consideration. They need to listen to you. That is a transformational leader. Another one.
Idealized influence.
Yes, they influence you with new ideas. So that means that if you really attend a good class, then you should have gotten that 8 marks even without explaining. Now, that's a free mark. Now you need to find how that one is actually applied in this particular case study. But in this one, the examiner was very direct, which came to be known as the 4 I's. So just give us the 4 elements. Anakuuliza hizo direct, hata bila kusoma story, you can be able to get this, right? Bona vile hii paper ni rahisi. Unaweza pata 8 marks kabla usome story. Aya, the next one says that enumerate 6 principles that BAM might have taken into consideration while developing staffing policy. Do we know staffing policy? Kwanza, what is staffing? Students get it wrong from the start. So before you go to even the policy, you need to be able to understand what we understand about. You need to define what staffing is. Now, when you look at, there is a topic here. Is it topic number 4? Yes, topic number 4, functions of management, other functions of management, topic number 4 in the syllabus. It talks about organizing, controlling, it talks about staffing. And staffing starts, it is actually like our topic in its role. Staffing starts from long way by having an idea that I need an employee. That is when staffing starts. So staffing starts from what we call recruitment. Do you know the meaning of recruitment? Recruit. So recruit means to attract the right candidate. So ukiona mapolisi wanaitwa recruits, or they are going for recruitment, they are trying to get the right candidate among the other one. Now, as an employer, you need first to plan yourself. You do what is called HR planning. Unaangalia in future and ask yourself, what is the number of staffs and the skills that I need, and why do I need them? Maybe you have seen that there is a possibility of you opening a new branch, or people have given you a lot of information that others might resign soon. So you know that you need human resource capacity or a number of staffs. So you need to define the capacity that you want in terms of the staff, right? And also you need to know the skills that you want, the age if possible, right? The experience that you want. So once you've known what you want, then you now put yourself or give an advertisement in a way that you can be able to pick the right person. That is what we call recruitment. So for example, if you want people who are digital professionals, you can go and advertise on LinkedIn. Most likely, when you utapata kwa LinkedIn, you'll get professionals there, people who knows what's happening. You can even see their profile, because in LinkedIn, people might not lie. Because when you lie, someone else is seeing the title that you gave yourself while he's your colleague. If I'm working in a bank, I can't say that I'm a bank manager while my colleagues are also there and knows that I'm lying. So in LinkedIn, most likely people will put the correct information. So that is where you get the right people, the professionals. Now, go and advertise there to attract those professionals that we are recruiting. We need so and so. We need this kind of people. Maybe utafanya kwa gazeti, you know, those who read gazette, maybe utafanya kwa Facebook or wherever. But we are saying that recruitment is about attracting the right person. Now, when they have done the application, the right person you need to attract so that they apply, you now go to the second stage, which is now selection. Selection. They have applied, now you select the right person. After selecting the right person amongst the ones that you actually attracted, so this one is about attracting the right person to apply. Now you select them. After selecting the right person, you now do what is called placement. You will select, obviously you communicate and tell them that you are successful. Now you place it on the right position. Ile kazi inafaa afanye. Kama ni branch manager, mweke hapo. Kama ni accountant, mweke hapo. So the next stage is placement. That is staffing process. Remember, this is how staffing process is. And the funny thing, the same student that I'm telling you called me maybe for example, aliniuliza hii jioni, alinipigia simu akaniambia, take me through staffing process. Sasa naona alikutana na hii swali. I don't know how she predicted, but I went through this over the phone, not even on the board. So staffing process, after placing the sample somewhere as a child, and this is the whole role for a child, you need to train this person now. You need to train this person. After training this person, you need now to do what is called appraisal. Of course, after training you, I need you to go and perform some work. And after doing that work, I will come and check what you deliver. Is it really what we expected? So that is called appraisal. So you need to come and do appraisal. After doing appraisal, I'll be able to evaluate and check. Are you meeting the target? If you need more training or more help, then I don't know. Sometimes we can take you to something called PIP, right? PIP is where you are below the performance, so I put you on performance improvement plan. It's called PIP. Now, so as a chair, I need to put you on performance improvement plan because after training you, I realized that during appraisal, you are still below. So after this, I come again and now evaluate again. So after that, during this process from here, of course, we will be giving you remuneration in terms of salary. Remuneration in terms of salary. After appraisal, you can be able to give me bonus because you have performed. You can promote me. You can also deploy me. Deploy. You realize that I'm not good as an accountant. You can take me to another branch. You can take me to another department. So during this appraisal process or after appraisal, you can do any of this depending on the performance. But also, you can now put me on what is called PIP. That is performance improvement plan. Now, after this, then that means that I'm doing the right thing. Right? So the next thing after this will be maybe separation. Where separation can come in terms of maybe termination, resignation, or termination, resignation, or end of contract. So generally, these are now what we call the staffing process. Here, and then it ends here. That means that immediately you join any organization, be sure that the next thing is that your term will end. Kuna wakati utatoroka, right? Just 1 minute. So do we have any question up there? Have we understood the process?
Yes.
Tumeelewa process ya staffing.
Ndio.
Okay. Now, if somebody asks you that what are some of the things that you need to consider when you're coming up with a starting process or you are planning to start, obviously one of the things is that you need to consider the experience of the staff, you need to consider the number, you need to consider maybe the capacity, you need to consider maybe a lot of things that you need to consider, maybe training needs, you know. So let's look at some of the things that the examiner is trying to say. Me, I really like this unit because it is easy to pass when you have gone through class. It's easy. We'll be finding all this. So Fatuma appear encourage BM. Okay. So it will require hapa. So what are some of the things that you might have considered while developing staffing policy? Okay, so Fatuma appear encourage BAM employees to always create time for their families to avoid conflicts. Conflicts in organization also occurs between line and staff management. With reference to the above, explain 5 possible sources of conflicts within organization. Which topic is that? Which topic is this setting that question from? Conflicts in the organization. That is topic 3, immediately under power. Conflict management, yes. Yeah, it is under power in the organization. I think it is topic number 3. So what causes conflict? Obviously, some of the things that cause conflicts in the organization are like lack of proper job description. So you find kazi yako inafanana yule mwingine. So ukienda hivi mnasema mimi ninafanya hii yule mwingine. That causes conflicts. Another thing that causes conflict is when somebody wants to misuse power. Somebody wants to misrule you or mismanage you. That one actually causes conflicts, right? What else do you think causes conflicts, Mr. Isaiah? Conflicts within the organization? Bad self-interest behaviors ahead.
Self-interest.
Exactly. You cannot be there instead of working for the organization, you are working for yourself. So self-conflict interest also affects. Imagine mimi nimeenda job, nafanya kazi, na wewe unashinda ukiapply kazi. Yani we are with you in the shift. I'm serving customers, but you are busy sending application letters. Do you think tutaelewana? Obviously tutakosana, because how can I be working? At the end of the day, you're going to be paid, but you're doing your own things, making notes, you are printing your notes. Umepata LM notes, una print pale na printer ya kampuni. That is self-interest. And then another one I was talking about misuse of power. Somebody wants to show that he's the one who can do it. So anarchist rule, that is actually causing conflict of interest. I've talked about misunderstanding of job descriptions. Another one is about resources that we have in the organization. When we are fighting over few resources, like where I used to work, people will even fight over a seat. Mtu anakuja asubuhi ananiambia Denos mama, namuuliza kwani nini shida? Hii kiti na yangu. Imagine an employee akwambia utoke kwa hiyo kiti because the resources are very good. Ama anatumia laptop, anasema ati hiyo desktop ni yake. Akikuja kwa machine yake, huwezi log in hapa na kutoa. Because of the resources that we have. So whenever people are fighting over limited resources, that can actually cause conflicts, right? What else do you think can do that, Sarah?
Also poor work environment.
Come again?
Poor working environment.
Yes, poor work environment. And that one you can also talk about ethics. Ethics can also, where people don't have ethics, watu wana gossip kila mahali, unasikia story imetoka huko, ati nani ndiye alisema, sijui nani alisema. That one causes that. And poor work environment where nobody anakujali. The manager is not even advocating for you guys. Like I used to work somewhere where we leave job usiku. Unafanya kazi hadi saa 4, unatoka saa 4. Ukirudi, the manager doesn't even care that you are unsafe. Hakuna Uber, hakuna transport. Unatafuta matatu, hakuna matatu, you know. Itapofike kutoka Westland hadi town, na labda kuna mvua, itakuwa work environment. Nobody is helping you. You are there, your own poor work environment. So the following day, obviously people will start saying that, you know, manager Nandi is not a good manager. watu wanaanza kugoshi. Hadi wewe kama unaelewana na manager, that is a serious thing. Watu wanasema ati wewe ni kama manager because mnaelewana. So poor work environment obviously brings that. Yes, I say saying that the competition, that is another true thing. People compete because of position. Somebody wants to outshine another, and that is another true thing, competition, right? So what we are saying, this kind of things should always, as a good manager, and that is why your big trend is, as a good manager, just know that if I have this, then it answer to office politics. And the biasness also bring office politics. In terms of promotion, salary increment, maybe training, you are biased, you are training other people, wow, and end up off more than the others. That kind of biasness also creates kind of conflicts, those kind of conflicts. So the examiner was asking you some question here that you can be able to answer even before looking at that. So he's saying that with the reference to the above, conflicts, okay, with the reference to the above, assess 5 possible sources of conflict between line manager and staff management. Line and staff management. So I'll stop from here. Let's read the story, and then tomorrow we shall meet, or next time we shall meet and discuss this. Because I have audit and assurance class, allow me to schedule class. We shall go through this and now give answers. So when can we have this class again? Sarah? Isaiah, I'm not sure whether you have the content notes, but what Sarah is doing, Sarah is actually having the content and she has the notes. So she has actually organized for revision class purely. And I'm sure with that, it will really help her. By the time we'll be doing exam, she'll be very okay. So kama unataka kama hiyo, you can read your notes, but organize and join her so that we do revision every time we have a class, only the revision. Ungependa kufanya hiyo?
Yes.
Inakuaje ni join? Yes. Sarah mwambie vile inakuwa, mwambie Isaiah vile inakuwa. Anataka kujoin. And I'm sure Isaiah ni student tumekuwa na yeye ananijua vizuri. So I know atalipa tu leo alafu ana join. Let me just give him the pay bill. Alafu analipa. Alafu anakujoin kwa group so that tuive mapema in the next 1 month you will be ready for exam. I can assure you that. Let me just write you the pay bill. Then we add your WhatsApp with Sarah. We do some thorough revision. Na usisahau kukuja na neighbor. Usisahau kukuja na neighbor. So pay bill is now this time is not very serious. I don't know why it is disappointing me. Pay bill is 880-100. And then we also have account number. Account number is 52 164 7 0013. Yes. So once you pay, just share your message with this number. Your message with the number. Add it to your WhatsApp group. Sorry Mubarak. Umepata kama tumemaliza. Let us join audit. And we have the same, I said we have the same for audit, so you can also 8810. Amount is 4,000 only. Pure revision, but we shall share the notes so that you can read in advance. Ndio kuja revision. Sasa. So that when you come in revision, we have the notes. Kama una notes, kama uko na notes kama Sarah ni sawa. Uko sawa? Just reply there so that I can we can go to audit. So get in touch with that number and then we get assisted. So when are we having the next class, Sarah?
On Saturday at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
So Saturday, okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
In the meantime, I'll share with you the notes on the areas that we covered so that you can go through them just in case you didn't have the content. Otherwise, thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you too, Mwalimu, and have a good one too.
Okay.